Hello, meatbags.
Help me! Help me! Nigga!
Well, it's time for me to do a video on the biggest cuck in the universe besides Ocean, and the guy who vlogs pretty much everyone, including me.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
One of the worst parts of this year's U.S. presidential election was how the candidacy of Donald Trump gave a platform and a megaphone to some of the most vile elements of American society.
Actually, he didn't do anything. It was you guys, the left, who are causing considerable amount of damage to businesses and to homes. That basically is just proving our point on just how violent you guys are.
But one of the best parts of this year's election was
Trump winning the election.
how, by amplifying those harmful elements, it exposed them to mainstream scrutiny for the first time that I can remember.
This is what I don't like about you, Shives. You're stating as if no one ever comes out with a rape case or gets abused or sexually harassed. It's everywhere in the media. However, they're coming to a light on how you people are faking these crimes, lying about these crimes. Fake assault, fake racist hate, fake rape. It's coming out and everyone's seeing the bullshit that you people spew, and because of it, people are now starting to not believe in anything you say. You guys are starting to become a dying breed.
Didn't wind up making a difference in the result of the election, unfortunately, but you know the old saying, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, all hope in everything. Anyway, one of those harmful elements is rape culture. Rape culture is not a new concept.
You're right, it's not new, but I can also tell you it's not in the first world. Well, actually, maybe Sweden.
Despite some anti-feminists insisting otherwise. Rape culture is an environment in which rape is prevalent and sexual violence against women is normalized and excused in the media and popular culture.
Which in America and the first world, we demonize rape. Rape is bad. You see it on the news, radio, everywhere in the media. In America and the first world, that it is bad. But you can go to the Congo, where basically you can talk to any woman there, and they said, yeah, I've been raped about maybe 3 times, and it's not even Friday yet. Rape culture is not anywhere in the first world. It is in the third world. You could take a look at the Islamic faith, where basically a man can treat a woman any way he wants. He can rape her anytime he wants, and it's basically okay. You can go, oh wait, she can say something about, hey, that man raped me, but she needs about 3 witnesses, and if she doesn't, she gets killed for infidelity and sex before marriage. And you wonder why we call you feminist idiots when you protect radical people from this religion. The faith of Islam is one of the most misogynistic religions on the planet. Not only do they hate women, they hate the gays. You can see it every day, them throwing and hanging gays. And then you go, not all Muslims. Yeah, it's not all Muslims, but what about the radical Muslims that do these things? You protect them as well as the ones that are not as radicalized or don't even affiliate with these Islamic faith.
That definition comes from the Marshall University Women's Center's webpage, which is a great starting point for learning about this subject. If you're looking for something a bit more in-depth, I would recommend this book. Transforming a Rape Culture, edited by Emily Buchwald, Pamela Fletcher, and Martha Roth, which was published in 1993, by the way. The Marshall University Women's Center's webpage has a list of attitudes and behaviors that perpetuate rape culture, many of which Donald Trump has been demonstrating through his words and deeds for decades. But for our purposes, let's focus on one particular example.
Now I know where not to get my information. Let's look at the list before we get into the stupid goddamn video for Trump grab him by the pussy bullshit. as you could see, this is pure and utter bullshit. This was written by a feminist. You can just see the cancerous sludge of this list. Let's look at the first one, blaming the victim. She asked for it. No lawyer has ever said this, nor did anyone. And the whole boys will be boys thing, that's also haven't been used in court. Show me that evidence where that has happened. And here we go with censoring jokes. You can't say sexualized jokes and everything. Intolerance of sexual harassment. No one has a tolerance for it. What does this even mean? Inflating false rape support statistics. As if there wasn't any. The fact of the point is, no one knows the actual statistic. So it could be 10% or it could be 90%. No one really knows. The next one is about, look what she was wearing. She was just begging to get raped. Other than that, mental state, motives, and history is basically getting and attaining evidence to back up the victim's claim. If it was false or it is true, this is how we work out what has happened. If the man or woman is guilty or innocent. Basically on TVs and movies, you can't actually show violence towards anything because it doesn't really happen in real life. Like, yeah, we can believe that. The two next ones, do you know who actually believe this? The Islamic faith, and most generally most people in the third world. Next two are stupid because it's basically college shit that's from a college movie. Assuming only promiscuous women get raped. Who thinks this? We all know anyone, anywhere can get raped. And this is like stating they don't get raped as well. Well, at least they actually bring up that men also get raped. Very not feminist of you. But I really don't think Steve actually believes this, or any other feminist believes this. Rape accusations are taken very seriously because it hangs someone's life on the line. Did he do it? Did she do it? Innocent until proven guilty, people. I know you want it to be turned around when they're guilty until proven innocent, but that's not how this works. But instead of going to the police with these accusations, they go to Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook and say, hey, I got raped by this famous person, help me. And people take this fucking seriously, and it blows up into something until someone says, hey, actually this is fake, and this is all the facts, and everyone accused them of defending a rapist and blah, 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 blah. Until finally, hey, he was right. He did do it. Oh well. Just like what happened with the Rolling Stones, a rape on campus. Morons protested the fraternity for days until finally the police come out and say, actually, they were lying. And they just stopped it like nothing happened. And finally, the nail in the coffin, how I know this was written by a goddamn feminist. Teaching women to avoid getting raped instead of teaching men not to rape. While you're at it, let's teach thieves not to rob, murderers not to murder, and pedophiles not to touch little fucking Tommy and Barbara.
The infamous Billy Bush tape, where Trump is heard bragging about how easy it is to assault women when you're a star. The tape begins with Trump bragging about unsuccessfully trying to sleep with a married woman. Then he goes on to boast that when you're a star, you can just start kissing women and they let you do it. You can do anything, even, quote, grab them by the pussy. Following the release of the tape, Trump attempted to excuse his behavior by dismissing it as, quote, locker room talk.
Okay, Shives, let's say he did do this. Then it's sexual harassment and sexual assault. Let's say he did do this. Is it gonna make me want to do it? No. No, he has no influence on anyone. Saying he did, oh, it's okay, I can do it too. No one is going to do this, Shives.
Someone dismissive of the concept of rape culture might point out that Donald Trump insists that he has never actually done any of the things that he brags about doing on the Billy Bush tape.
Yeah, because there's no solid evidence that he did do this, Shives. Do you have any evidence? Are you holding back? Are you a conspirator of rape? No? Then sit your ass back down.
One might also argue that these are the terrible attitudes of just one person, and they don't prove that rape culture is a valid concept when applied to the United States as a whole.
That's right, he can be taught.
Unfortunately, these arguments are refuted by the facts. The United States is a rape culture.
You're a fucking asshole.
And also, citation needed!
And the reaction to the Billy Bush tape by a significant portion of the American people proves it.
That does not prove anything.
Let's start with Trump's explanation that what we hear on the Billy Bush tape is simply, quote, locker room talk. I'm going to give Trump's words on that tape the most charitable reading possible and imagine that Trump has never actually done the sorts of things that he describes himself doing on that tape. For the sake of argument, I'm going to assume that what we hear Donald Trump saying on that tape is nothing more than, quote, locker room talk.
Shives, you and I both know that you don't believe a fucking second that he didn't do this.
Even with that assumption in place, we still have Donald Trump bragging to his fellow men about how, thanks to his celebrity, he can force himself on women and molest them at will and get away with it. If Donald Trump doesn't actually do those sorts of things to women, then he's making it up.
He probably is, because he's fucking around with friends. Even women do this, Shives. You don't think women don't do this too? What do you think women's night is for? Girls' night. They do nothing but talk about sexual stuff. Sexual past, what they did last week, who they did it with, how long, how big he was. I can go on and on. The same thing a man would talk about having sex with women is vice versa with women. It's not exclusive to only powerful white men.
He's bragging about imaginary sexual assaults to his fellow men because he assumes, correctly as it turns out, judging by the reactions of the other men on that tape, that they will respond with approval and admiration. What was that definition of rape culture again?
That little quote and definition is from a feminist bias university. Now, if you didn't have that and it didn't come from a biased university, maybe it would have some ground. But no, it doesn't.
Don't go far, I'm going to need you again in a second. Now let's consider how people responded to Trump's locker room talk excuse. True, many of us didn't buy it, but many of us did. In fact, many of us echoed it ourselves, saying that we and other men that we know talk about women that way all the time.
Why is it just men? There are women too that do this. Steve, your straw man is not gonna work when both genders do this. So what is your solution to stop this? Policing? Censorship? All ears, Steve. Come on, let me hear it.
So not only was Trump correct when he assumed that his bragging about being able to sexually assault women would be met by the approval and the admiration of the other men on that Access Hollywood bus, many of us stepped forward and said that we do the exact same thing all the time. So if we live in a society where people regularly brag about sexually assaulting others in order to impress people, and we do it so regularly and are so comfortable with it that we seem to not understand why other people are upset by it, how might you describe such a society?
But he didn't do anything yet. He's been accused time and time again, and they've all been proven false. But here's what you don't get, Steve. Rape is prosecuted. And when it is happened, and when they are accused of rape, and they did rape, they're prosecuted, thrown the book, and thrown in jail. If we did live in an actual rape culture, they would not be in jail. Steve, they would not be in jail. End of discussion. That's it. A rape culture is a normalization of rape. Again, like in Islamic faith, where a husband can basically do anything to his wife without consequences. That is true rape culture. Because as an Islamic culture, a man can rape his wife every day of every month of every year without consequences. Well, that's gonna be it for this episode. The Let's Plays will start 2 weeks from now. There's gonna be some tweaking and setting up to do, and we will start the Let's Plays very soon, 2 weeks from now. And I will see you meatbags in the next episode.
Shut up, you freeloading prick!
Sounds of metal. 'Tis the season to be brutal. Dawning our dead fists. True bleeding metal gallows.